The mutual interest in each other's work start to bring together architects and tech designers more often in interdisciplinary conversations, debates, or collaborations. But how effective do architects and tech designers communicate? How do they engage through their discourses in a conversation? And what could textual data and visualization tell us about this engagement that we will not otherwise get by listening to or reading their conversations? Because of different knowledge backgrounds and discourses, an interdisciplinary conversation can at times involve low levels of engagement, as well as exchanges and gaps. Producing insights on these between the disciplinary discourse of architects and tech designers is our goal in this project. Understanding these is a crucial first step towards constructing a more effective communication between the two, which could produce distinct perspectives, artifacts, and knowledge. One of these conversations happened in Venice Biennale in 2014 between architect and journalist Niklas Mark, architect Rem Koolhaas, and computer engineer tech designer Tony Padal. We took this as a case study and analyzed it through text processing and visualizations, and we created an interactive narrative. We want the user to walk through our interactive narrative of the case conversation, trace it, and learn about these insights. In this case, the user could be an architect, a tech designer, or a researcher who is interested in language, interdisciplinarity, or social interactions. The user can first watch the whole conversation if she wants. Then there's a glossary to familiarize the user with the word categorizations we use in the analysis, such as content words, disciplinary words, and so on. The first part introduces the conversation to the user. Briefly, the conversation is an interesting exchange of perspectives on the digitalization of architectural elements. Going through the distinct parts of the conversation or seeing the videos of those parts, the user can read the issues discussed. These distinct parts are revealed by the actor time heat map that shows the patterns and lengths of actor engagement. The user can also refer to the number of words time bar graph to learn about the weights of actors' discourses, which is measured by number of words in our project, and their contentful contribution within these dialogues, which is measured by number of content words in our project. Content words are the words that carry semantic information, such as nouns, verbs, or adjectives. Here the user can mouse over on white space, scroll to zoom in and out, or drag to move through the timeline. Can also mouse over on bars to see the information and to gain insights. For instance, the first part is made of a 4.5 and a 3-minute dialogue between Mark and Padal. Within the first dialogue, Padal has more weight in the discourse, but Mark has more contentful contribution. The heat map also shows the tech designer Padal has a continuous participation in the conversation, while architects Mark and Koolhaas take turns in engaging with the tech designer. Because of that, Padal's discourse has the most weight in the conversation in terms of the number of words, but Mark has the highest percentage of content words in his discourse. Overall, 38% of the conversation is contentful. Here, the user can also see the breakdown of that by actor. Even though Padal has the lowest percentage of content in his discourse, he has the highest percentage of contentful contribution to the overall. There are many other insights in this. Part 2 allows the user to discover engagement by language style matching. Language style matching is rating the function word used in actors' discourses as a factor of engagement. And function words maintain syntactic structure of a sentence, but do not carry semantic information, such as pronouns, prepositions, and so on. The actor word network graphs reveal the function words shared between each pair of actors. The size of the point cloud indicates that Koolhaas and Padal, aside from having more and longer dialogue through the conversation previously mentioned, also shared more function words across their discourses. Here the user can mouse over, scroll to zoom in, drag and move the network, and see a function word. User can also click the button and see frequency of use by each actor of each word, as well as the degree of engagement between the actors in the actor-actor network through the thickness of links. The user can also click on the bar graph to see the breakdown of language style matching by different categories of function words. For instance, the user can see, even though Koolhaas and Padal shared more function words, when the frequency of function words considered, they have a slightly lower degree of engagement through their discourses than the other pairs. In part 3, the user can examine the disciplinary words in the conversation. The word tree map here displays disciplinary words specific to technological design domain and words specific to architectural. Certain disciplinary words are interdisciplinary that are present in both domains, or dual disciplinary that may or may not be disciplinary but have different meanings or connotations in these two domains. They're also included. The size of the clusters indicate an inter and dual disciplinary discourse has more weight in the conversation compared to technological or an architectural. And the technological has more weight than the architectural. Here the user can just mouse over and see each word and its frequency of use. Or the more frequently used ones, which hint at the primary subjects that the architects and the tech designer discussed. In part 4, the user can explore the difference in vocabularies and disciplinary words. Smaller nodes of the 3 actor word network graphs represent the words in each actor's vocabulary in the conversation. Again, the user can mouse over, zoom in, drag the network, and see a word. Here, the user can highlight the frequency of each word, as well in the actor's discourse too. And through the bars, user can see the amount of unique words in each actor's vocabulary. For instance, Kohlhaas used the highest number of unique words, the richest vocabulary. User can also highlight content words. That shows the disciplinary breakdown of that vocabulary. Shows that disciplinary words are used to different degrees by each actor. For Mark, it's 1/4, but has a balance between the categories of disciplinary words. For Fadel, it's 1/5 of his vocabulary, but he used much less architectural words. In the end, the case showed that the architects by individual used more technological design vocabulary than the technological designer used architectural. User can also look at the frequent use of these words by each actor. For instance, the user will find out that the frequently used technological design vocabulary that architects use to engage with the tech designer is quite small, much less blue words. And same for the tech designer engaging the frequently used architectural vocabulary, while conversing with the architects, much less yellows. If shared more, these more frequently used disciplinary words could have potentially helped to abridge more the different discourses. Alternatively, they could have facilitated more instances where the actors could hit more conflicts by dual meanings and create ways to resolve. In part 5, the user can examine sharing and exchange between different disciplinary discourses. The discourse of each actor is different, but each actor uses disciplinary words from the others. And the actor-word network graph reveals them, as well as the ones that are not shared or exchanged. Regarding the exchanged, the size of the word point cloud and number of links and weight of exchange words between Fadel and Kohlhaas, combined with the one between the three, the word point cloud between the three, suggests a stronger discourse engagement between the architect and the tech designer. If you consider by actor, the tech designer used the shared and exchanged words more frequently than the architects. Here, the user can also highlight the disciplinary words. Again, mouse over on the network, move the network around, or see a word. For instance, you can see that Fadel and Kohlhaas shared and exchanged the least amount of these words, even though they shared and exchanged the most content words. The user can also see examples or instances of that exchange through verbatims in the text. And not exchanged point clouds show that more disciplinary words that came into the conversation could have been exchanged, like Fadel's technological design and inter and dual disciplinary words that are not picked up in the conversation. User can also discover similar insights, such as inter and dual disciplinary words reveal gaps, like the differences in coding of these words, like the way architects and the tech designer code privacy differently. With that kind of difference, the conversation remains as high level rather than getting streamlined or specific. And finally, the user can see, with the actor-actor network graph, the connection between three actors' discourses through the timeline of the conversation by number of exchange content words and the frequency of these words, as well as by number of exchange disciplinary words and the frequency of disciplinary words. Considering the first two parameters, Kohlhaas and Fadel is a slightly stronger connection by discourse, but that starts to be the case only within the 40th to 48th minute of the conversation. From 16th to 40th, it was Mark and Fadel. And when disciplinary words and frequency of disciplinary words considered, it was Mark and Fadel who had a stronger connection by discourse. This tells us that there has been a stronger sharing and exchange between the architects and the tech designer compared to the two architects, which is positive. That suggests that the conversation had been interdisciplinary. However, as discussed based on the actor-word network graph, there are issues in the qualities of that sharing and exchange. And these are asymmetry between architectural and technological vocabulary shared or exchanged, the architects not adopting enough technological vocabulary, and the tech designer not adopting enough architectural vocabulary, ratio of shared to not shared or exchanged disciplinary words, and gaps between the architects and the tech designer because of the differences in coding words. And these are also the actionable insights that our project has revealed. Thank you.